This episode will discuss difficult topics related to mourning and grief. We want to remind your listeners that this episode may be triggering for some, and we encourage you to take care of yourself and reach out for help if needed. Okay? Now, as we go forward... Yeah, my voice. If you guys can't tell, I'm sick. But as I was saying, welcome to Top Dogs. Yeah. On this episode, we will be discussing the difficult topic of our mourning and grief. We know that many of our listeners have experienced loss. We also know that even all the podcasters have experienced loss themselves. We know that we also want to provide a safe space for you to talk about your feelings and experiences. And so I want, for his sake, I want Stream to have the honors to talk about what he really wants to talk about.
Okay, so hey guys, I'm Stream Arcadad. So, well, there's many things I want to talk about. I think it's good if we go through the different points, because so we have some notes, we have stuff we want to talk about, and I've kept them in order, so I'm just going to proceed with the first one, honestly, if you don't mind.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, everyone has lost someone in the early times of our lives, but we all have different experiences and reactions during that time. As children and young teens, we don't necessarily fully understand the concept of death itself. So, my question for you guys is, how did you react the first time you lost someone close to you, or in your family, or extended family, or friends?
You want to go first, Whiplash, or... You want me to go?
That's going to take me. You go ahead first. That's going to take me a second.
Okay. All right. So, the only person that I can remember that I lost that, broke my heart was my nanny. She was the person I used to go to a lot when I was a kid. And the things that she used to do for me were great. She used to spoil me rotten. She also gave me a lot of sweet tea when I was a kid, because I was a huge addict of sweet tea. By the way, Southern people make sweet tea. No problem with that.
Absolutely not.
Nobody can compete with Southern sweet tea.
Oh, no.
I've never had it. I want to try it.
Oh, you will. But as I was saying, so she passed on, and not in the most pleasant way. That I had no idea. So, and my family actually had to lie about how she actually died. But it's kind of weird thinking about it now. It still hurts today, but not as much as it used to. I think what hurt the most is that they didn't really tell me the full truth. But then I understood why they didn't tell me. Because when I thought she died, she passed on from, older age. That's usually what happens, right? When somebody's in their 70s and they pass on from their lives and stuff like that. And as I got older, when I turned like maybe 14, 15, my dad actually told me how she actually passed away. And this is a serious issue that many people face with families, friends. She was a heavy drug addict, and I had no idea. And it makes sense. There's been many times where, as you know, I love sweet tea. I'd have no idea at the time. There's been many times where she denied me having her drink because they told me she spiked it with vodka a lot. So I'm glad she didn't make me drink it.
How old were you when she passed away?
I was 6 years old.
Oh, God.
So, in the terms of how she died, she didn't die from a drug overdose. She expired in a way that if I was to put it in another word, it would be she chose to expire herself.
Yeah.
with with something that shouldn't be played with children. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah. I think I can read between the lines.
Yeah. It's kind of weird though. It broke my heart when I really learned the truth as I got older. I never bawled like a baby that hard before, and it was very, very hard for me. But if I know anything from my nanny, is that she always told me one thing that everybody should consider doing. Just because something bad happens in your life, you got to keep pushing forward because you only have one life. Life does not stop when something bad happens. You have to go through it. I always say, go through it. Don't try to hold it all in because that makes it worse. And another thing she would tell me is the fact that she would have wanted me to move on after learning the truth. So I did. Still sad about it today, but that's my advice, just learning to cope with that and don't try to hide your own emotions about it. Let it come out and you'll be fine, because pain heals over time. The scars might remain, but the pain does heal.
Time heals everything.
Mm-hmm.
Some is slower and some is faster than others.
Yeah, but that's what I held on to when I had my depression. What about you, Whiplash? What is your first memory of, somebody passing away?
So, I've had people pass away when I was a child. But at that time and point, I didn't understand, death as much as I did when I started becoming a teenager and up into my younger adulthood. So, when my first, cat, dog, my grandma died, I knew they died, but I didn't understand, showing how to show emotions at that point in time. Because I always tried to hold back my emotions when it came to, anything that's really sad. And then, somehow whenever I got out of high school, is I started showing emotions. And until my most recent pet I had, which not right now, but back in 2021, when my last dog I had is when she passed away. It wasn't a good time. I just came back from a furry convention, or I came back from Denver, and the next week we had to put her down because she had a tumor growing in her brain, and it was affecting with lots of movements and stability that she had, so she would fall over sometimes, and that itself was sad to see. But it's also my parents' dog, and I just grew up with her. I used to when we got her when I was back in still my last year in middle school, so I always loved her. And she was a chow. She was a cream colored chow. So the day that me and my dad took her to the vet to put her down, it messed me up for a while, honestly, because I had so many loving memories with her. And that's when we got her, that's when my emotions started showing up more and more, and everything just broke down in that instance through those 13 years that we had her. Just remembering everything from when she was a puppy. For a child, it is. They don't really. Yeah. They live 12 to 14 years, usually their lifespan. But yeah, it went from everything from the day we first got her at a pet store, because my parents usually go there to get them, or get a dog. It went from the first day when we got her, and she was sitting in the baby, or sitting in the buggy just with her paws over the front end of the cart, all the way to the last day when she was sitting on the ground. And they were putting that injection into her. Usually I don't try to show my emotions, but that day I just broke down. My dad the same way. I've never seen my dad cry in his life, and he was there with me, and he started crying too. It was something to say. Like, I'm not on, like, since then I really haven't had like close family members or anyone like besides that dog, besides her. I really haven't had anyone close to me die, which I'm glad, but I'm not looking towards the day when it actually happens, especially with my parents. If anything happens to them, I just know for sure that I'm going to be a bawling mess for weeks. Like, it's just going to be horrible. I'm not looking forward to that.
I relate to that as well. I would hate to lose my mother. She's been our biggest supporter on Top Dogs, by the way. She actually knows this exists. And if anything ever happened to my mother...
Mine too.
It would devastate me, because she's one of the first persons to accept me for who I am, as a furry too.
My parents, I'm surprised, like, honestly. Like, I came out to as a furry like years ago to them, especially when I got my first fursuit. And the fact that they're also very accepting me being bisexual. I honestly, like, never the past years never thought they would be. Because, I mean, they have that old Southern family charm where, you know, it's just living in a nice religious household and blah, blah, blah. We're not going to get into that. But that's what made me scared for years. But I love them to death.
Yeah.
So, my first experience with death, I was actually I was about 6 years old. It's my grandfather on my father's side. I do have some slight memories spending time with him at his place, and sadly he passed away due to lung cancer because he was a massive smoker. I don't remember much of the ceremony and all this stuff. I remember that, you know, he wasn't going to be there with us, but for some reason my brain could not, like, generate the emotions for that. Like, it didn't, it's like, oh, okay, he's gone. And that's it. You know, there was nothing to it. There was no sadness, no happiness. It was just weird. I think I remember I was playing with toys and stuff like that, but that memory is vague. So this is how my first experience was. But yeah. So before we keep on going, we would like to introduce we have two guests with us today. We have Kit Klawson. He's part of our Discord supporters on our Discord group.
Come here, Kit.
So come in, have a seat.
Hey, before you do anything, before you sit, hang on a second. I got something to say to you, if you don't mind me saying it. Okay? All right, let me stand up. Real quick. Come here. Oh, hold on. I am fading out of the... So this is what I'll say. Come here. Stand right in front of me. Okay. Come. Okay. You ready? Like I said, yes. I'm sorry to hear about the loss of your husband. I can only imagine how hard it must be for you right now. So please know that you're not alone in this difficult time. We're here to support you and provide whatever assistance we can. Whether it is listening ear or a shoulder to cry on. And we will be there for you. You're not alone in this, okay? Thank you. Yeah. So, audience, anybody who's watching this on YouTube or listening to this on our audio platforms, if you guys could ever have the chance, send a comment on our YouTube. And, you know, wish him luck because he needs it. He just recently lost his husband about yesterday, correct? Yes. All right. If take a seat if you can. There's a button behind the seat.
Oh, I don't know if this one has one though.
Yes.
Is there a yellow button? There is? Oh, okay, cool.
Yes. All right. Still hanging in there, I hope.
So,
yeah.
Kit, can you do a short introduction about yourself?
I'm Kit Klawson. I am 32 years old, and yesterday my husband of 7 years passed away. He lost his battle with pancreatic cancer. And so it's we've known this day was coming, but it doesn't make it any easier.
Well, thank you for being here on the show today. We also
No,
have
thank you for having me.
Of course. Hey, no problem.
Absolutely.
We also have a second guest. We have R3vnge with us today. He's going to be joining us on the set as well.
Come here, R3vnge.
Come here.
Give us
You're
big
gonna be
hugs.
sitting next to Whiplash.
He just wants a hug.
Hello.
Hugs for everyone.
Okay.
Give hugs up for it. Well, if you want to.
We'll do hugs.
It's fine. It's fine. Air hug.
Air hugs.
Air hug. Oh no, button won't work.
Click it once. Just once. Check and then go back to it.
There we go.
There you go.
So, R3vnge,
Oh,
tell
okay.
us a bit. Short description about yourself. How you doing?
Well, I am R3vnge. I am also 32 years old. I have the pleasure of being a part of Pop Dogs as HR, and happy to be here. This is going to be a very touchy subject. I might cry. Don't judge me, but hey,
Nobody
it's what it
judges.
is.
If you cannot
sure.
do it, I understand. You don't have to say anything.
Hey,
Oh,
you're
no,
fine,
that-
R3vnge.
that's okay.
Trust me, I was
no worries.
tearing up talking about my dog, so I understand.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
do you want to explain to the audience what happened to you recently?
So, we'll put it this way. Last year did not end very well, and the beginning of this year started off horrible, in a sense. So, December 26th of last year, my father passed away due to his third stroke. He had his first stroke in 2011 while I was in boot camp. And then he had another minor stroke, which put him in a state where he could not walk or speak. So he can only do hand gestures, like shake his head up and down, everything like that, due to obviously him not being able to speak. And then a week before he passed, he went to go get blood work done. He went to go and get testing and stuff done. And after that, it was determined that he had a third stroke on the same side that he already had the second stroke, and we would have never have caught it. So he passed away at 12:59 on December 26th. And then after that, I come home, try to cope with everything that happened, and then when I got back here, where I currently live at, one of my coworkers also passed away. So it was kind of like a double whammy for me.
Oh boy.
So it was rough. It was really, really rough. So, but you know, have to keep pushing on as best as you can.
Okay. So I will ask you guys this question. Since me, Whiplash, and Stream have already answered this question somewhat, I'm not sure, but I'll say this. What advice would you give to someone who is struggling with the grief process? If you want to go first, Kid, or do you want R3vnge to go?
I can go first.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to reach out to people. I mean, everyone loses people, but what's been the most help to me these past 36 hours has honestly just been reaching out and talking to as many people as I could. Whether it's family or friends, or one of my friends I hadn't seen in 3 years showed up last night at my house at 11 o'clock at night. She thought I was going to have dinner waiting for her, of all things. But just as many people as you can talk, because you never know how many of them are actually able to be there for you. It's not something you have to go through alone.
Well, thank you for that information. Revenge.
Kind of like what Kit said, you know, always be willing to talk to someone about it. Don't bottle it up. Because I will call myself out. I'm okay with it. After the 2 deaths, I literally isolated myself in my room. It was really bad. It got dark very quickly on numerous occasions. Don't ever go down that path. Don't. Always be willing to have a support system, someone to go talk to get it out, because the more you bottle it in, the worse it gets. It's not pretty. It's really, really not. And I'm very fortunate enough to have a huge support system. I have my best friend, and I have really amazing friends that I live with. I have Fiction and Colton. I have my Alpha Foresta. I have support systems, and I talk to them, and it helps out tremendously. Oh, and Arca 2, can't forget about him. I probably will get in trouble afterwards. But anyway, besides the point.
What?
So I do this, you know, so I can try to prevent myself from crying. So I throw in little jokes in there. So sorry.
I mean,
That's understandable.
It's a good way.
But don't be afraid to talk to someone. Be open about it. Let them know how you feel. Yes, most of the time they'll say, well, you know, I'm here for you, for your support and everything like that, because they don't know what to do. But you talking about it is one of the greatest steps you can to help heal the process. So definitely having a support system is huge. And if you don't have a support system, if you are in a Telegram group, or if you're in a Discord group or anything like that, somebody has any type of source for you to go speak to someone, whether it be friend or professional. Someone has some information somewhere. You just have to be willing to be the first step to take to go ahead and start talking.
Okay.
You know, I kind of want to add to that. So I've recently, which I'm gonna bring back, because you guys mentioned that you've lost somebody recently. I've also lost someone recently. I've actually, so you know how, you know, gay people, it's kind of hard to have children. So one of the alternatives, you know, a lot of people, they get dogs. So about a year ago, I got my German Shepherd puppy named Thunder. And sadly, after 6 months, I got one of the most news that knocked me out completely. Like, I didn't expect it at all. We found out that his kidneys were failing and he was gonna die, and we didn't know how long, and it was probably the biggest bomb I've ever received in my entire life. Like, Thunder was done with his training. He was amazing. He was more than what I expected him to be, and he was amazing. And losing him was probably one of the most difficult thing I've ever done. But one thing that helped me a lot through the grieving process, and he passed away at 7-month-old. I'm gonna send Colton a picture so you guys can see. He's adorable. Is, you know, having my husband being there with me, and we would support each other. That helped me a lot go through it, because we would just let the veins open, like the veins, the water gates just open, and we just let it out. It just helped us. So if you have somebody that you share the sadness, go talk to them, spend time together. And you know what? Sometimes death can actually bring people together. They can fix old relationships that were broken. It's going to help you recover a lot more quickly. You're going to open up, and you're going to find stuff about yourself, about the other person. And this is the way I got over it. A lot of people showed me support when I posted pictures on my Twitter, and I really appreciate the message that I got from them. But honestly, just having my husband there with me was the best thing that helped me out. And find that person that is close to you and that can relate to your pain, and talk about it, have a discussion, cry over it, just let it out. Don't ball it in, because it's not good for you.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my advice.
You know, I wanted to ask you guys this, which was, have you guys ever like looked up to somebody, not really so much like a family or friend, but a celebrity that is close to who you are as a person, like personality wise? Anyone relate to that?
Kind of. So, at least for me, the person that really stuck up to me when I was growing up was Maya Angelou. Like, Maya Angelou, she was a goddess, and she was very professional, but she also was very stern. So, like, if she would go to like talk shows and stuff like that, and she would have audience members come and talk to them, they would pronounce her name, like they would say her first name, and then she would correct them, be like, no, we're not friends, you address me as such. And like, it stuck to me. It's like, okay, people can be talking to you any type of way, but they need to address you correctly in order to gain that respect. So Maya Angelou was definitely an iconic role model for me growing up. Like, she was, I didn't have like a whole like shrine in my room to her or anything like that, but she has helped me out in so many ways growing up, and I have nothing but the utmost respect for her.
I respect that. Anybody else? Well, I could say what I need to say. So there's a lot of people I look up to, and there's a lot of people in the music industry. There's a lot of people in the athlete or sports industry. The two that come to mind, who I could start off with, a wrestler from WWE that I used to look up to as a kid. If you guys know his name is Eddie Guerrero, Latino Heat. I used to look up to him as a kid. Rest in peace, Latino Heat. Now, the thing about Eddie was that his death was very, very sad in the wrestling community. I used to look up to him. When I saw this guy, compared to so many other wrestlers at the time who were always getting the big pushes and the main event spots, and he was such a small dude, and they were not making him be the big guy for once, the main event. It warmed my heart when they gave him that opportunity, because in that lesson, it made me realize no matter how small your chances are, there's still a chance to be successful. Yeah, so I looked up to somebody like him. And recently, a couple of years ago, the Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant, I loved his mentality. He was pretty sad, and the whole sports industry actually mourned over his death. And then also, rest in peace, Black Mamba. I hope, your daughter is, happy wherever she is with you. And of course, the other families that died tragically in the helicopter accident. So yeah, his death was hard on a lot of people, especially me, because his mentality was, when he first started off as a rookie, people doubted him. And when he was playing in the NBA, thinking he wouldn't be that great, but he kind of just the type of person that proves them wrong, then just watch me kind of attitude. Yeah, these two people definitely come to mind. And there's a lot of singers out there, but I'm not going to name them all because that would be another long story, but that would probably be another topic for another day. Does anybody else want to say anything?
Celebrities or people that are not necessarily close to but that inspired you?
I said celebrities with the question. Would you say that this person that you looked up to was not a celebrity? If it isn't, that's okay. You can tell.
But I've been trying to think of a celebrity that inspired me through his passing, but I can't remember. So
I do have another one though. Yes. Okay. I do have another one, and it affected a lot of people in so many aspects of his passing because it was very tragic on how he passed. And I'm talking about the wonderful Chadwick, aka the Black Panther.
Ah, yes. That was
Like the way it was tragic when we lost him, but he was such an iconic person. Even Offset, literally everyone had nothing but the most greatest things to say about him. He was very loving and supporting, and I look up to that because no matter where you come from, what you've been doing, where you're planning on going in the future, you can always be that one person that talks to another that could potentially, help them with their future career or even potentially save that person's life. And he's done that on several occasions. So definitely the Black Panther is one of the most iconic ones that I cherish and definitely look up to.
It's people like that actually inspired me. The people I was looking forward to, they have this mentality, they treat other equally. They don't think they're above anyone. They know where they came from. And there's some people out there that I have the utmost respect for, and they're great human beings. They care about each other. Like, I have an example, actually. One of my friend's mother was a set designer for movies, and she was there on one of the X-Men movies. And she said that Hugh Jackman was probably one of the sweetest guys. He would walk in every morning, bring coffees to everyone. It was filmed in Canada, some part of it, actually. I don't know which movie, but like actors that are celebrities that are nice and sweet with people, and they treat them on the same level as anybody else. People like that, I admire that. And people that are also generous and stuff. Like, I think Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, they said that when they were going to pass away, they were going to give most of their money for charity and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, this is so cool. This is so sweet, so caring. And I respect that, and I admire that.
I can't remember his name, but who plays God, what's those movies called? He plays John Wick.
Oh, Keanu Reeves. Yeah.
Keanu Reeves is also one of those people
super
too.
Humble guy. He takes the subway like everyone else. He could buy a Porsche or Lamborghini if he wants to. No, not necessary.
No. He doesn't let the fame get to his head whatsoever. He's still a genuine person. And I have to say, because I'm so mad that I forgot about her. I know we're getting off topic, but I have to say it is... Oh my gosh, very, very humble. But I have to give praise to Miss Mother Monster herself, Lady Gaga, because I have never seen a celebrity literally come from a set, see a homeless person on the street, and literally give that person money so that way they can have food, a place to stay, a ride to go wherever they need to. I've never seen a celebrity do what she does. So I have to give her credit. She is absolutely one of the most sweetest person I've ever had the knowledge of knowing. But yes, definitely her.
That selfless act is something that nobody should ever get. Usually those things are pretty big. The small things are more bigger than most people realize.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
No, I enjoy people when they're humble instead of bragging about stuff, even if it's like the most insequential or most like something that's like super small and then just like bragging about it. I just like people being humble. It means more to me as a person that you'd rather just be someone who might have done something good, but that's it. You just want to stay that way. Just be good. Also, what the hell?
I try to be humble as possible, but sometimes I get just too excited, so I overshare everything that is going to my head, and it sounds like I'm bragging. But I'm just like overly happy, and I just share everything that's going on. I need to let it out. Like, I speak up too much. That's my problem.
That's the ADHD excitement flow.
Oh, dude,
Yeah, that's
such a
me
pain in
too.
the ass sometimes. It gives out so often to me. It gave out the wrong message that I wanted to put out. I'm like, no, that's not what I want. That's why the joke with the brag jar is that I have on my avatar, which is where is it? Without me doing anything stupid. Where's my brag jar? This one. It's not working. It's not working. It's broken. So never mind.
Oh no.
No. But you know what though? We could give the audience something, something random right now. Hey, gotta let you know something right now.
What?
I see you.
You gonna kiss me? Oh, okay. I see you.
Do
too.
it.
No, don't.
Be gay.
Don't you
Be
dare.
gay. Be gay.
No.
Be gay. Be gay. There you go.
Damn you.
Oh my gosh.
So I actually had a button. I had a button on my console to cancel the player grab, and I wasn't able to click it on time. Damn it.
I told you. I won't throw anybody else but you for throwing me.
Hey,
That's
honk
revenge.
you.
That was revenge for throwing
You guys
me
were about
with
to
Bardic.
fight, and I broke up that fight. That's what I did.
No, we were not. Actually, no, we were not. He was going in for the. He was going in at first base. Is that the right one? What? He was going for the kiss.
Why do you look at me when you say that? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, to put it simply, he offered a kiss. That's why he was reaching out his arms.
Yeah, it was
That
cute.
is-
By the way, there's actually our editors are working on a clip for TikTok. I seen it. Hilarious. I laughed so much.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Let's just say Celine Dion is involved. Let's just say that.
Oh gosh, I have
You want
to
me
see
to
that.
do the? You want me to do the question of the week?
Do the
Oh
question
yeah.
of the week.
You can do the question of the week, and then I'm gonna say something else.
Okay. So, guys, for the question of the week, what is the biggest lesson you have learned in someone's passing? What is the biggest realization in someone's passing you had? And it could be either somebody close, less close, or even a celebrity. So write it down in the comment section below, and we'll try to address it as soon as possible.
Also, before we continue on with this episode, I need to say in this discussion, thank you for all the support and love you have given to the podcast. To see all the ways you can continue or even start to support us, see our link tree in the description.
Really sweet. Thank you, guys. We appreciate. And I'll give you head pats if you barely on the set.
Yes.
Whiplash has something to say. Are you going to say something positive and wholesome for once?
That's
Oh yeah. Well, you're
I
ruining
know.
it. Damn it. Oh
Sorry.
God!
Don't crush. Don't.
Oh my God.
Don't crush
gonna say-
Ender that's under you.
And if you ever went through any of this that we're talking about tonight with grieving of a loved one, I will personally come to you and give you a hug. Pat, 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 pat.
Yeah. Another thing I want to say real quick. Ender, come here a second.
So we have
Yes,
one
come
of
here.
our supporter plus here in the studio today.
Come here. Yeah.
Small
Look at you.
He's very sweet.
I'm going to hold
He's a
you
good
like
boy.
the Lion King. The circle of life.
Oh,
Be the next Lion King.
Could I unmute
You also
my
will
mic?
get a pet. Yeah. Now I'm going to pass you
I
on.
didn't mess up this
Here you
time.
go, stream.
Oh,
Okay, come here. You have to let go. Oh,
I did let go.
Yeah,
Oh.
here. You get a hug? You get hugs?
oh my god, this is...
Oh, you're so
Well,
blessy. And you get head pats too, because you're very sweet. Thank you for your support. We appreciate. You okay?
Don't worry, Honest. I'm not going to tell him to eat him.
Oh, it's fine. I
don't
get so
eat.
like I kind of push back from the thank you because I feel like I should be thanking you guys, and supporting you guys for this podcast is like just my only way of repaying of what you guys as a group have done to me. I've been writing along with this whole thing ever since episode about self-esteem, which Arcadad took the lead, and a lot of the questions here, right from the audience, I felt, and I feel connected amongst a whole group, and I don't know who said it, but death does connect people together. Although it is really, really hard at first to deal with or even believe. There's always, I heard this from someone. There's always a rainbow on the corner of every thunderstorm. There's always a rainbow on the other side.
That is true.
And
that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. A lot of you guys helped me see that, and I'm honored to be here.
Aww.
To be in the same room as the guys I support with all my heart. My best regards to you guys. My best regards to Kit Klawson. I hope you pull through, and I hope I have the best regards for everyone here. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you very much, guys.
Of course.
You're very
there you go. Thank you for your time, Ender.
Oh, thank you. It's no biggie. Do I return to the audience?
Yeah.
We'll see you later
Thank
after this.
Thank you guys.
See you later, Ender.
Okay.
Yeah, bye-bye. So this actually brings up a good question. So I forgot what I was gonna ask. Damn it!
you had a himbo moment.
Were you?
Oh my God.
So, is there any ways you guys were able to? So, for stuff that has just happened, it's hard to be objective about it. But once you've got over mourning or grieving somebody that you care about, how did you let some of the positive emotion take over from the sadness? How did you were able to overcome those really sad moments? Were you focusing on positive memories, souvenirs you have from them, videos, photos, objects? Like, what helped you nowadays be able to get over it and remember them? I structured that phrase completely wrong. I'm sorry about that.
You're okay. You're okay. Well, does anybody want to into that? Okay.
Yeah. So it's not. Well, we'll go ahead. I don't sugarcoat anything. It's not an easy process. It sucks severely. It is horrible. But with everything that has happened and has transpired, the memories, at least for me, of my dad and my coworker, the memories of what we shared, what we've done, one of the things that he even had, because he didn't have a will, so to speak, he had like a notebook of like things to pass down, and he gave me his hat, his Steelers hat and jersey that he would always wear every time he would go or watch the Steelers from home or at the stadium. So it's like the memories that you had with the person, or sentimental objects that you have of the person, that's what helped me get through to get back to somewhat of a normal reality. It wasn't, it did take a little bit of time. It was not something that was just like a hop, skip, and a jump. Okay, cool, everything is cool, peach keen. It took a little bit. Even when I went back to work, the whole atmosphere of my job completely shifted after our coworker passed away. It was something that we all had to endure as far as the good times we had with that person in order to keep it going, to make sure that, everyone was fine, everyone was okay, and everyone was managing the best that they could. So for me, mainly it was the memories that I cherish the most of the people that have passed on, and the sentimental values of some of the objects or the gifts that they have given me. So I would say that, at least for me, I'm not speaking for everybody else, but at least for me, that's what helps me get going and go through and try to, make it every day that I can.
I can also say that, and I'm going to say this to every audience, which is, losing someone can be difficult and painful experience, but it's very important to remember that grief is a natural and necessary process. So
It's part of life.
And everyone experiences mourning and grief differently. So there's really and just keep in mind, there is no one size fits all solution for getting over the loss. There's many varieties, there's different strategies. So if you are going through these necessary things, look through different strategies and different solutions, that one that helps you the most.
Yeah, for me, I try to focus on the positive things, trying to get over my dog who passed away. I have pictures of him. I look at him and I look back at the videos. So they make me sad, but it reminds me of the good times I have. And when you're kind of crying but you're smiling at the same time, it's like a really weird feeling. But you're like, it's life. You got to move on. Crying about it is not going to fix anything. It's getting rid of the pain, yes, but in the end, I try to focus on the positive and try to gain as much experience and knowledge and elements from that event to help me up. And I try to focus on the positive. Basically, it makes it less painful every day.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then the one main conversation I had with my dad before he wasn't able to speak anymore, he was like, the one thing I want you to realize while you're on this earth is to always chase your dreams and never give up. That I will always cherish every time, because that's the one thing that I remember from my dad. And tomorrow is never promised. It is never guaranteed. So you cherish every moment that you can with the people that you love, and then also cherish the memories you have of the people that have passed on. It's like you want to remember the happy times and then all the positive things that have happened. You always want to remember those, and you want to also keep those as a cherished memory from now until, unfortunately, our time comes where we do depart from this world. You want to keep all of the happy memories with you and create happy memories with other people, because your happy memory or your joyous time that you have could also help somebody else later on down the line.
Yes.
Oh,
this is actually why I enjoy helping out people as much as I can. Is I try to spread positivity. I try to help out to the best of my ability, which is it's difficult to do sometimes when you're so busy, but I try to make the time as much as possible, because I know so many people that have been there for me. I was always helped out, and I want to give to the next person. And everybody should ask themselves, this is a legitimate question, what do you want to be remembered for? And that will tell you everything you need to do. What do you want to be remembered for? And I want to be remembered as this guy that tried to be there for people, to help out, to be generous. My husband's grandfather was the most amazing and incredible person I've ever known. He would actually, on the weekends, go at Costco, and the foods that were about to expire, they would give them for free. And he would go to the poorer regions of the neighborhood and actually give out those foods for people to help them out. And I'm like, this man is absolutely amazing. I want to be like this guy later on.
Yeah, I get that. I would say, with me, if I wanted to be remembered for something, what would it be? And usually that kind of question is definitely a hard question to answer, which would be, for me, in this situation, there's always more that you can be than what you already are. So, for example, you could be one of the greatest popular furries ever, but you should never settle for that. You can always strive to be more.
What's the point of popularity if you don't put it to good use?
Yeah,
help somebody out.
Exactly.
What we're doing for Top
See?
Dogs podcast.
Right.
This
and like to
world,
kind of
we live in a tough
Oh, no,
world.
go ahead.
Life is difficult, and we need to help each other out. Otherwise, we're doomed. Life is difficult as it is, but it can be fun. That's why I want to help out. I've always been like that. I would give my winter coat to somebody who's freezing outside to help them out. Even I would be freezing. I don't care. I want them to be safe.
You got
Because they
ice
probably
in
need
your
it more
veins,
than I
so
do. Yeah, I got windshield washer fluid and like coolant, so I'm good. I can go up to minus 10 Fahrenheit, no problem. Perks of being Canadian.
But yeah, but I was going
That's
to
a
say, yeah, what I want to remember for is that kind of what I told you about Eddie Guerrero, a guy that seemed like he would never reach the main event, the top spot, the spotlight, to being what he's good at, being very talented in what he does, a hard worker at it. People take notice in that kind of things, and it made me realize, even that we might be furries, and there's some ideas that most furries might think is impossible. I can guarantee you, if you really, really want it, you'll find a way to get it. No matter how slim it is, you can get it. And I'm going to prove that, that's for sure.
I mean,
So I have a question. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, like, I know we're talking about popularity. I just like using mine just to hang out with people and just talk with them and chill out with them. And people who may know me, I like to just talk with them, get to know them. I like to get to know my audience. I actually like to see how they're doing, how the day is going, how they're just doing in general. Or if, people in Discord servers, if they deem an issue, I like to talk with them through it. Help them out. Everyone always
I can
deserves
relate.
a chance to talk with someone, especially about any situation.
Yeah. I know there was popular people that I looked up before I was on this show or I was on TikTok or anything. There are people that I really wanted to meet, but some of them had their popularity all over the head. I mean, I can understand if you're busy and you have a bunch of projects and you get a bunch of requests, that is fine. But when they give you attitude for it, they're ignoring you, and they're, no, this is unacceptable. That is not me. I will never do such a thing. I've never refused a friend request on VRChat. I've never refused one. And everybody that requested to do a TikTok with me, I've always said yes. The only caveat is that I play VRChat twice a month. Except the recording of the podcast, but I'm hard to catch, but it's not because I don't want to, it's just I have other priorities in life.
Okay. Is there another question that you wanted to ask?
Yes. So there's something that there's a question I want to ask you guys, because at the end I have an answer that I would like to talk about, and it's one of those wholesome moments, just like the episode about self-esteem. So is there a lesson or a value you've learned from somebody's passing, either close or someone far? It could be a celebrity or friends. So who is the person that when they pass away affected you the most? I feel like we're kind of looping around, but I'm leading this towards something I want to talk about. I just want to make sure it makes sense.
You want to know one celebrity death that affected a lot of people? Michael Jackson.
I was about to say Michael
King of
Jackson.
Pop. King of Pop, yeah.
That was like, what was it, 2008 or 2009? Either way, I was 13 or 14 years old. I wasn't that old.
I was going to my prom that night, and when I found out, that was so weird.
It was June 30th, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Somewhere around- yeah,
That's right,
something
because
around there.
Andreas told me
14
like
years ago.
the reason why people remember his birthday is because it's the same day as Michael Jackson's death.
Yeah.
That sounds like a bad reminder, honestly.
I mean, it is, but it is, but it's like, I guess that's an easy way for people to remind him of his birthday. Like, no one remembers mine because mine is like somewhere in April. Not April Fool's Day, or when's your birthday, Arcadad?
In November.
Mine is in November too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm a
see,
Scorpio.
no, see.
You know what doesn't help? There's another icon
Wow.
I did look up to that died in November. Mr. Freddie Mercury.
I
Oh,
knew
man, what a
it.
legend.
Oh my
What a
gosh.
legend.
Oh, yes.
That was I wasn't alive that when he died, but I can imagine how bad it was when he was gone in
That
the
was
world.
a tragedy.
What he died from
Absolutely.
is not even an issue nowadays because we have medications.
He got it at the worst time.
I would still have one of my uncles on my father's side if it would have been a few years later. But I don't remember
Exactly.
him at all. But yeah,
And of course, he's a big, Freddie's a big inspiration to the LGBTQ plus community.
Yes, he is.
Absolutely.
actually, our Christmas tree at home is inspired. It's those birds that have the nice like wings that open up and they're super big and wide.
That would be my
peacock.
favorite bird. That would be a peacock.
A peacock, yeah. So we actually have a Christmas tree that has a bunch of flashy colors, and we put a peacock, and we named him Freddie Mercury. So that instead of putting a star, we have a giant peacock that covers like half the street, the tree. It's really cool. I'll try to find a picture and send it to Colton.
To be honest with you, knowing how Freddie's personality is, from what people have told that have been around him, he seems like the type of guy that would be that dramatic. To pull something like that off. So yeah, I think that was pretty good, making that happen.
I like watching Ender. He's like, but he can't.
Yeah, I can
talk.
see his head shaking
when he agrees with stuff, and now he's blushing. Oh, irregular. So, can I talk about the person that affected me the most?
Sure.
Or you guys want to
go
say
ahead.
something? Because it's going to be a bit long. Okay, so there's one person that passed away that will affect me the rest of my life. You guys don't know this, but I lost my father when I was 2 years old. He took actions upon himself, and I don't really remember him. I don't have any souvenirs, anything at him, but people keep telling me I look like him, I have the same abilities, the tinkering comes from him. I have all his qualities, but none of his faults. And every time I see my aunt, my godmother, she always tears up because I remind him so much. And when I transitioned from primary school to secondary school, which is about when you're 11 or 12 years old in Canada, secondary one, I fell into this massive depression because of a few things. My parent divorced, a bunch of things was happening in my life. And at one point, it was so bad. Like, I would wake up, I would cry, I would walk, I would cry. I would see people having fun that would bring me down, like the bottom of the barrel. Like, it was intense. And at some point, I was so fed up of suffering and being in pain that I thought about taking, actions against myself. But I actually remembered what my father did. And the massive hole and the damage emotionally it has created around all the people that cared about him. If you're contemplating this situation, it's something that touches you right now, you have absolutely no idea how many people care about you and people that love you. And when I realized that, the pain it has created, even me, I have repercussions from my father's passing. I was like, you know what? This. I'm gonna swear, I don't care. I'm not gonna do this because I don't want to bear the idea of my mother having to go through this again. And all my friends and my sister and my aunt, I'm like, that. I'm gonna be unhappy for the rest of my life if it takes it, but I'm never gonna take any actions. And you know what? With time heals everything. If you don't know what to do, that's fine. That's okay. Give yourself time. And actually, I've consulted a hypnotherapist, which is what helped me cure my depression. I've never taken medication. And actually, I'm glad I didn't act upon this action. Because I've realized how much life is worth living, and you have no idea what's coming up ahead. Yes, there's going to be negatives, but there's going to be amazing things as well. Give yourself that chance. Don't lose hope. Seek help. Go see your friend, your family. Talk to somebody close. you can do something, and there's light at the end of this dark tunnel.
Yeah.
So that's my thing.
Very valid. Very valid. Dang, man. I'm over here crying and stuff. Ugh.
Oh.
But no,
That's
I mean,
okay.
even to kind of piggyback off of that, yes. Like, obviously, I had my dad, but before my dad, my great grandmother, my dad's mother, she lived in Alabama. She lived on this dirt road. Literally, her neighbor was a farm keeper. The cows would come up to the fence right in front of her house. Her birthday was on the 4th of July. And every year before she passed, we would go to her house and we would have this massive family gathering, breakfast. We would light off fireworks at the end of the night and everything like that. It was absolutely amazing to have such a moment like that. And when she passed, I was 13. And when she passed, and then I realized that she passed, I went down this whole dark path. I didn't socialize. I literally almost tried to kick myself out of school. I tried to do everything that I could just to be like, you know what? I'm done. That was the one person who loved me for who I was, even though I was still trying to figure out myself. Don't be afraid to say something. Because as she would always counteract with me every time I didn't say anything or try to talk to her, she would always say, closed mouths don't get fed. You need to say something. Go talk to someone. Be able to speak to someone. Say something if you're not okay. No one is a mind reader. And you need to be able to tell people how you feel. Because if you don't say anything, it could be too late. And we don't want anyone to go down that path. Never. We don't want anyone to ever go down that path.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys want to say?
I do have another question for you guys.
Okay.
Oh, what's the question?
So everybody mourns death differently. They get over it and they do stuff. Is there something particular you do to commemorate the deads?
Commemorate
Someone's, or something like somebody particular. There's a ritual you do every single time, like the most special one you have.
Well, I don't have a specific ritual, but I actually took my husband to get his very first tattoo. And so that day we got matching tattoos here on our chest. So in the coming weeks, I intend to get our anniversary added to our tattoo so that I'll always remember him.
Oh,
That's cute.
really sweet.
That is sweet.
What about you, Whiplash? Do you do something?
Like I said, I really haven't dealt with death much. Like, with close families, it's just been pets. But I'm pretty sure whenever it comes to, like, my close friends that I have or anything to do with my family, I'm pretty sure I'll... More likely on the day of their death, I'll probably go by and just mourn them for an hour or two. And plant a dozen roses on their graves. Or, like, a bouquet of roses on their grave. That's what I have in mind.
I do kind of have a ritual now, as it just recently started. So like when I get up to get myself ready for the day or everything like that, I would, I have a picture of my dad, and it's on this little shelf that I have in my room, and I have a picture of my dad with his hat. And every morning I'll be like, "Hey, Dad, hope you're doing well. Hope Steelers win." You know, I would say something differently each day, because to me, it's like I'm having a conversation again with my dad. So I would do that every morning, so that way I can still cherish the moments that I had with my dad. So it's starting to become a routine for me now, and I'm very grateful for that. But that's kind of like the new thing that I'm doing now. Just make sure that I at least have some type of conversation with my dad.
I have something like that going on. But Fiction, you go first. I'll finish that one.
I kind of have a ritual based on another guy I look up to, Elvis Presley. Love music. This is where the music is coming out. The king of rock this time. So there's and it's his old saying, and this is something that Elvis said, which is, it can be interpreted from people differently, but it taught me that since I love music, you know, growing up, he always would say, without a song, the day would never end. Without a song, a man ain't got a friend. And without a song, the road would never bend. Without a song, so I keep singing a song.
Oh, really sweet.
One of my favorite lines from Elvis, actually. But that's my ritual. What I do is that I notice when I'm down, I play music, sing it, and play it on a guitar. Either that was with the real guitar, and playing Rock Band or Guitar Hero.
You better bring your guitar to FWA, because I want to hear you play some music. I love listening to people play guitar. Acoustic guitar is my favorite. If you play that,
I have. It's a different than playing electric guitar, that's for sure. I'm mostly used to electric guitars. But a song to me, from what he was trying to interpret to be, a song has a way of lifting your moods based on certain music you listen to. Sometimes it gives you hope. You know, sometimes you listen to songs depending on your feelings. And I've learned that sometimes listening to the songs that make you happy, you turn out to be happier. So that's why he always sings and plays a song. Because that's all he knew.
Definitely.
The only thing that made him happy.
Yeah, music definitely can help with anyone who's grieving or mourning, especially if you have that connection. That definitely helps out.
If anybody who's a music nerd, which there's a lot of people who are, especially in this community, music has a way, if you guys understand that, music has a way of getting into your emotions, especially if you're really into the song.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there's one song I listen to and I cry immediately because it's relevant to my father's passing. So it's like, God, I can't do this.
Yep. Same here. Same here.
Me for my. Oh, were you finished?
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. Me, I have two rituals I do. So I've restarted doing it again because I didn't know where he was. But every year for my father's birthday, I go see his grave and say hi to him, which actually is coming up real soon. I think it's on the 17th. I have to confer with my mother. But the other thing I do is I have Thunder's ashes in an urn, and there's a picture of him. And I kept his dog collar, and I made him a little scarf, a plaited scarf. And it's wrapped around the thing. And I also have his paw print, also in plaster. And every morning I don't do it all the time, but I like to just grab myself my cup of coffee when I wake up, and I would just sit right next to him on this little wooden table we have next. Our house has changed, and now we have a German Shepherd puppy, and a new one. His name is Jet. He's actually like Thunder's stepbrother. He's really cute. He's been doing great. They're different, but they're amazing just as well.
But that Jet is a little bit more hyper.
Oh, he is. He has a lot more energy, and he's something. He's really good. Like, he learns excessively quickly. I thought Thunder was smart. Jet is even a step above, but when you have kidney failure happening at a very slow rate, I could tell I could talk about this for a while, but Jet is doing really well. He's very healthy. He's learning extra quickly. He eats plenty. It's great. He's really big. He's 3 months and 1 week, and he's already at 35 pounds. Thunder was 25 pound when he was that age. This is just to tell you how much like issues we had with him right at the start, but we didn't know because he was our first dog. Everybody was like, oh, it's gonna clear out later. Oh, it's gonna clear out later. He had a rough start when he was born. It's gonna be fine, but no, it wasn't. But yeah, enjoying my coffee. Now I don't really do it anymore because I changed the house and the morning routine has changed with Jet. But we still having Thunder is with us every day in our living room.
Oh, it's cute.
Is there any other things you guys want to say? No? Okay, well, I guess that concludes today's episode. So this is what I'll say before we end the episode. We hope that the episode has been helpful and that our listeners have been able to find comfort in knowing that they are not alone, especially in their grief. We thank you for joining us today on Top Dogs, and we wish you all the peace and healing. Stay awesome.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Neat.